All right, let's go ahead and try that out again. So this week you guys were assigned F4, there we go, F6 and F8 from the 6th grade section. So let's go ahead and take a look at what those look like. And there we go. Let's go ahead and begin with F4. Now, F4 is to put decimals in order. What you may want to do if you want to show any sort of work is maybe look at a number line. One thing to recall is on a number line you begin with the least greatest number to the biggest, the largest number. So it increases as you move to the right. Now, in this case, we have a couple of numbers here, 98, 0.5, 8.5, and 58.9. Now, what I would like you to first do is take a look at your three numbers, and actually, let's not worry about the decimals right now. Because if we take a look at these three numbers, it's very easy for us to say 8 goes here, 58 somewhere around here, and 98 would be the greatest. And since it wants from least to greatest, well, there you go. All you have to do is rearrange the order and submit. Okay, now, the next problem that we have, though, is a little bit more difficult because it says that we have 22.2, 0.2, and 0.22. Again, it wants least to greatest order. Now, obviously, the largest number would definitely be 22.2. So I'm going to move that one all the way up to the front, or at the end. Now that we're not really worried about this one here, I'm going to scratch it off. And I want you to recall that this is the 10th place, followed by the hundredths. All right, so in that case, every time you have these numbers here, you would practically multiply them by 10. So 2 times 10 is, well, 20. Just like this one is also 2 times 10, which is 20, but it has 2 along with it, so this is 22. If you were to think of this as money, that is $0.20 and $0.22. Obviously, the $0.20 would be the least, followed by $0.22, $22.20. Let's submit it. All right. Now, once again here, I'm given 0.26, 8.62, and 6.28. Again, it wants from least to greatest. So think of this as money. Let's say who has the least amount of money and the most amount of money. Well, 26 cents is definitely the least. Okay. Followed by $6.28 and then $8.62. All right. Now, it's gotten a little bit more difficult because of the fact that it's given us 5 numbers this time. Oh, goodness. And again, it wants least to greatest. So we have 9.7. Now, once again, I want to try and think of this as money. So that's $9. Remember, this is in the 10th place. So that's $9.70. Okay, moving forward. We have $97. And then, ooh, this one's interesting. This is $0. There's nothing in the tenths place, but there's a 9 in the hundredths. So that means that we have 9 cents. Okay, $7 and that's in the tenth, so that would be 90 cents. And $0.97. Well, the smallest number I have here would be 0.09, and then followed by 0.97. So let's put those up in the front. And that's kind of obvious because of the fact that they have $0. Now, if I look at my last three numbers, 9.7, 90, 97, and 7.9, if I look at everything before the decimal place, it's really easy to get these in order because 7 comes before 9, which comes before 97. There you go. All right, moving forward. There we go. Again, I have 56.7, 0.06, and 0.6. Now, this time it wants greatest to least. So the largest number would be 56.7, which is in the right spot. So I don't care about that one anymore. So once again, look at your tens place. So here, 0.60 in comparison to 0.6. 0.06. That's equivalent to 6 cents. This is equivalent to 60 cents. Which one's larger? The 60 cents, of course. Let's move forward. Ooh, this one is nice and easy. So let's double check to see what order it wants it in. And again, it wants it from greatest to least. So largest number first. I have 0.96, 0.06, and 69.3. Obviously, the largest number is 69.3 because the other two do not have anything in the ones place. Now, remember, change this into money. If that's $0, that means that I have 96 cents and nothing in the tenths place, so that's just 6 cents. All right, ooh, they always like doing the weird one like this, where they have all of these numbers, and they have like pretty much the same number. So they have 0.99, so I'm just gonna write them out real quick. Okay, and then yes, and wow, that's a lot of different numbers. Okay, so probably my favorite store, the $0.99 store. Ooh, this is $99.99. $99.00. Ooh, $9.99 and $9.90. In this case, it wants from least to greatest. What's the smallest amount? Well, that would be my $0.99. That's at the beginning. Followed by, well, right here I have $9.99. $9.90 would go next. $9.90. Followed by $9.99. Followed by, kind of like the same problem here, right? So we have $99 and $99.99. I'm going to do one last one just to get us up to 70, then I'll move on to our next problem, or our next section. Now, here, oh, this one is actually so super easy because, let me write them down here. 32. Because if you take a look at the whole number part here, it's really easy to put this in order. And a lot of them, especially in the beginning, are that easy. So 0 is the least, followed by 12, 32, and then 83. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on to 4.8, or sorry, 6. F.6 is rounding decimals, and it starts off very easy because you're just rounding decimals to the nearest whole number. Now, one thing to remember is whenever you're trying to round, the special number is 5. 5 is our halfway point. Now, in this case, it's going to be 0.5, and then 0.6, 7, 8, 9, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to think of this. There we go. I'm going to kind of leave a blank in front of here because it honestly doesn't matter what the whole number is in front of it because we're rounding it up to that whole number. Now, if you have a decimal that is over on this side, then you are going to round up. Now, as opposed to if you have your decimal point or any of these numbers, then you're pretty much going to stay put. Technically, you would say that you would round it down. All right, so let's go ahead and use the first one as an example. We have 348.6. Now, 0.6 lands us right over here on the blue side. So that means I'm going to round it up to the nearest whole number. So that means it's going to be 349. Let's type that in. 349. Awesome. Let's move on to our next problem. That would be, there we go, 101.7. So again, we're trying to round up to the nearest whole number, and you'll notice that 0.7 is past our halfway mark. So that means I would round this number up to the nearest whole number, which is 102. Awesome. And again, it's keeping it nice and easy for us, for right now at least. 700, 27.6. 0.6 is on the blue side, so that means I should round this up to an 8. 728. There we go. Now I wanted to get to some of the more difficult problems because here I have 2.329, and it's asking for the nearest hundredth place. Now, do recall, here we have our tenths, followed by our, hopefully you guys can see that, hundredths. Ooh, here we go. Oh, I had to scooch that down. Sorry about that. There we are. Okay, so since we're looking for the nearest hundredths place, that means I only want 2 decimal places here. That means I'm going to look at the number after in the thousandths. Now that's a 9, and that's over here on our blue side. So that means I am going to round up to 2.30. We're rounding that number up. Alrighty, awesome. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we have 1.59, and this time it wants it rounded to the nearest tenths place. There we go. Now, that means we're going to look at the number after, and again, wow, we're getting a lot that are rounding up because it's in our blue area. So, since it's in our blue area, let's round it up to 1.6. All right, and we're almost there, honestly. Like I said, I want to get you guys at least to a 70, so I don't give too much away. Again, round it up to the nearest whole number, 0.9. Again, that's going to round up to a 9. This one I'd like to do with y'all. Finally, we have something a little different. This one is 7.329. And this time it wants the nearest tenth. I want you to round to the nearest tenth. Now, taking a look here, that means that I'm looking at 29. 0.29 is over here on our purple side. So, our purple side says I'm going to round it down. That means not necessarily that you're going to change that number, but that you're going to leave it there at 7.3. We're rounding it down to 7.3 as opposed to 7.329. That's what it means by rounding down. There we go. Now that I got you to at least one more that was a little bit more difficult, let's move on to our last bit, which is F.8, decimal number lines. So one thing that honestly we don't really need to use our notebook paper for this one. If anything, you might want to be able to touch your screen somehow. So what I want you to notice is where our number line begins and ends. So I have 0 and 1. Now you'll notice that I have a couple of hash marks here going all the way up to 1. So that would mean that this is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, there we go, 0.5, 0.6, I'm trying here, there we go, 0.7, 0.8, and 0.9. And of course that means that this is 1.0, which looks very similar to 10. So it looks like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, it wants to know where is P. Well, that's really easy. It's right here. Whoop. There we go. So I would say that my answer is 0.3. Love it. Now, in this case here, let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Whew, okay. So in this case here, we have F, and F is located right over here at 0.4. Now, the cool thing is for your answer, you can write them different ways. You don't have to write 0.4. You could even just write 0.4. You get the right answer. Or let's say this one over here is Z I could say 0.60, and it would still give me the right answer. Oh, oops, oh goodness, I wasn't paying attention. So, things will change. Let me go ahead and fix this one here. T is 0.90, which was my point that I was trying to get at. Now, where it's highlighted in green, oh my gosh, please be careful, don't pull a Miss Gomez. You'll notice that they've changed. Now that we're up to about 51, it's changed us to have a new beginning amount of 3 and ending with 4. So in this case, this is 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. Or here, now I began with 2, I could write 2.2 or 2.20. It would also give me the right answer. U is up here, and it's actually very close to the 7. Now, remember, even if you aren't able to write that down, so I'm going to erase that up here. Even if you aren't able to write that down on your screen, you can see that it's just 1 unit away from 7. So that means if you were to think of it as 60, 61, 62, 60, so on and so forth, you can also count backwards. 70, and you could say 69, which is just 6.9. So if this is 7.0, this is 6.9 or 6.8. If you don't believe me, you can count this way. So here is 6.0, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8. And here they changed our numbers again, so that's 4.1234. And I already got you up to a 70, so I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. If this was not enough to help you guys out, if you're having trouble getting past the 70 mark, and you want to have some one-on-one time, please let me know. I don't like sitting in the YouTube live and just asking for people to ask me questions, so that's why I thought I'd make this video instead. But if you need additional help and this didn't help you out, let me know. I'm going to have Working Wednesday tomorrow, and we can have some YouTube live time. But remember, this is due next Monday by 10 p.m. Have a great one. Bye-bye.